thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, thank you. Do you sort of feel that you've kind of gone from being what you describe as the hated one to the loved one? There's a lot of love out there at the moment.
Yeah, to be honest, there is. It's just, I'm grateful for people to, kind of truly see me for who I am, really.
But did you kind of plan your way out of it, or has it just been accidental?
No, it's been all authentic, all natural. Nothing forced, nothing planned, I think the most important thing is me kind of opening up a bit more and kind of getting people to, see me, as I said, in a different light than normally in a sit-down interview. Started doing a little bit on YouTube and just little things for people to, kind of see a different angle of me and stuff like that.
I listened to this BBC podcast on the train on the way up. I promise you, it was like they were talking about Nelson Mandela. And they were actually at one point comparing you to Muhammad Ali in terms of impact.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but...
But what's something has kind of gone on. I mean, I first met you at the Sport Industry Awards. You won the Player of the Year award, narrowly beating Ashley Barnes, I suspect. But you also got the Sport Industry Awards because of integrity and impact. So did you kind of expect that kind of thing would happen as a result of what you said about racism?
No, not for one moment. Did I think that, my post would, kind of had that sort of an effect. I was just purely trying to state my opinion and let it be known and, kind of saying for people to, have second thoughts. I never thought, would have such a massive impact.
How does it make you feel that it has had an impact?
No, it's great to know that people are listening. And one thing about this country and people in this country, they're always willing to listen and, to see what we could do for the better. So, no, I'm really grateful for that.
And what about, it was interesting, when you did the post, it wasn't about you, it was about another player really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't want it to be, self-centered. People knew what happened to me the day before. I just thought, I had those pictures already on my phone for a while.
Is that because you've been thinking about the whole issue?
Yeah, just I've always thought it was an issue. So, I thought to myself at this moment in time, let me use this example to kind of, bring light to a situation that I felt that I needed to speak up on.
And how would you define the issue? What is the issue?
I'd say at that particular moment in time, I was more thinking the wordings, the little subtle messages that newspaper used had a massive effect on how the public perceived a lot of young players, a lot of young black players in that fact, because you start associating the words bling at the end of sentences. You start associating just little subtle words that people think, okay, that this person is this sort of character. And if the public don't see you on a regular basis, don't know you, that's what their perception of you is going to be, and that's who they think you are, and that's how they're going to judge you when they see you on a football field. And
did you feel, the fact that you did it that day, did you feel that those guys at Chelsea wouldn't be doing that if we didn't have that kind of embedded in our culture?
Yeah, I'd say, for sure. They had their own perception of me from day one, as everyone has their kind of naturally judge people anyway, and what they think, who they think they are, and for sure, I definitely know that they had a perception of me, and probably not a good one.
Would you ever walk off the field of play if say that happened again and again and again, or there was some, whether an opponent being racist or another set of fans being racist, would you ever think about just walking off?
I wouldn't, not during a game. If it was a continuous thing that kept happening to me, probably after a while I'd go on a little strike, but I wouldn't, once the game's going on, I wouldn't particularly stop and come off the field.
Did it affect you that day for the rest of that game, or did you put it straight in your mind?
No, it's one of those that you want to show them that you're bigger than that. You know, I'm not the sort of person to kind of show that emotions and my emotions is trying to prove wrong or make that person hate me even more for doing the right thing. So.
And what's the do you when were you first aware of racism?
First time I come face to face with it was when I was going to school in Liverpool, in Rain Hill in Liverpool, walking home from school.
What, growing up in Wembley, you never?
Never
Wow.
Never had a situation. My school was, you know, multicultural. We had a lot of different races. And the first time, yeah, I ever got abuse was in Liverpool.
And what was that? What happened?
I was just walking home from school one day, and you know, just been bought from QPR, and you know, someone says my name, my full name, so I'm thinking, oh, he probably knows me. At this point, I'm kind of like, you know, people are starting to recognise me a little bit, and he says, oh, can I speak to you for a second? I said, yeah, no problem. So I walk across the road, and he says the N-word, and then headbutts me, and then I kind of like started scratching my head, like, did he just do this? And yeah, I took care of the rest, but yeah,
You did take care of the rest?
Yeah, I took care of the rest, yeah.
So did you regret it?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. You regret it, and
what? And the thing about what's really interesting about what you've done though is you called out the media, and normally people who really call out the media, they end up getting done over even worse by the media. But actually, you seem to be getting a better press, in part because you've called out the media.
Yeah, and when I was expressing, you know, my thoughts, it wasn't, you know, like trying to any really bad, like not me saying I hate or this, you lot are this and you lot are that. I was just trying to put a point across, like just to do better as, you know, newspapers. It wasn't really to say you lot are this and you lot are that, this sort of characters. It was just more, just open your eyes and kind of give people a fair chance. It wasn't like having a go. It was more, I tried to do it in a way, and the way I typed, I tried to make sure it was all calm and people kind of just got the message. And I think they kind of did get the message that it wasn't a go, it was just to, you know, open your eyes and think more.
Who did you talk to before you did that?
No one.
Nobody at all?
No. I just said to myself, you know, this is something I feel I need to do.
You didn't sort of feel, did you, so you didn't, if you'd have thought it was going to go as big as it did, would you have discussed that with somebody else?
Actually, to be fair, when I finished writing it, I gave it over to Delphi, and then I gave it over to Vinny, both where I checked it a little bit. You know, it was just in training, so it was kind of quick.
Are they the brains in the squad?
No, they're two people that I love and respect, and you know, tell me exactly how it is, and they're honest with me, and they're lovely guys, and they both loved it. And from hearing their reaction, I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
And Vincent Kompany there wasn't a part of him that thought, well, this is going to take you into a space you've got to be really careful about?
No, he said, no, it's perfect. I like where you're going with it.
You didn't feel you had to tell the manager?
No. I didn't feel like I needed to tell him, no. Own adult. Yeah.
I don't know, because I just wonder whether things like that, if you're a manager of a player like you, at a club like this, and you suddenly go off into, you know, what some would see as a sort of political, cultural direction, whether they feel that takes you away from them, takes you away from the football, I don't know.
No, at the time, it was December, I think, was it the first game we lost in the league as well, so, you know, it could have, if I did speak to him and he didn't agree with it, it's just something that I didn't feel like I needed to ask permission for. It's what I thought I needed to do. Yeah. So, you know, that's why I went with it.
Now, I think the last person I interviewed for GQ with a City connection was Mario Balotelli. And I remember he had that T-shirt, Why Always Me? Was there a point when you were thinking, why always me, with some of the kind of crazy stuff in the press?
Yeah, there was times I was just thinking, just leave me alone. There was just times that I was just getting sent stories from, you know, friends, and then...
What was the worst?
No, it started to get petty. It started to be so silly to a point that I think the worst one for me was they used a collection of my cars, like, that I've had since I was like 17. So
Different cars?
So every car I've bought from I was 17 till I was 22, 23. Of course, if I drive into training, they can take a picture of it. So they used, over the years, my cars and said, this is my car on Monday, this is my car on Tuesday, this is Raheem's car on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But it's been cars that I've had, sold and got a new one, had sold and got a new one. And they made it like, I had one every single day of the week. So for me, it was just like, what are you trying to get at here?
Well, and what are they trying to get at? They're trying to make you look like just the bling kid.
Yeah, just going wild, running around, spending money on cars.
How many cars you got now?
At this moment in time, I've got one car. I've actually just changed my car again. Yeah.
What's this changing car thing going on?
No, I haven't changed my car in a while. I've just thought I needed a smaller car at this moment, so I just got a little GLC.
Do you like, this may sound a kind of obvious question, but do you like having loads of money? Do you like being wealthy?
Do I like being wealthy? I'm just grateful I'm in a position. When I started out playing football, it wasn't, when I was at QB, I didn't have a Scooby-Doo. When you get to this sort of level, like, this is the earnings you're going to have. When I was there, it was just for the pure love of playing football. And then as you get older, you start to understand what comes into play. And as I said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to put my mum, the most important person in my life, in a certain position that she doesn't have to work again, even though she still chooses to sometimes. And just to be able to, support my family and not just be earning money now, but also be earning money and be putting my money in things that, when I finish playing football.
But do you think a lot of the negative press was about this idea, this is how you're projected, this kind of young, brash, cocky black kid having all this money, like there's something wrong with it? Do you think that's at the heart of it?
There was a point where I actually thought, why should this little black kid have this money? At one point, that's how I felt that it was going, how the narratives, the stories that were coming out, that's how I felt it was going, like, why should he? Yeah. And
do you feel the when you were growing up, who did you support?
Man United.
And did you feel, do you feel a connection with City fans now?
Yeah.
I mean, like a real connection. You said I support Burnley, as you know, right?
Yeah.
And you were very, very lucky against us, you know that, don't you? 11 millimetre, what was it? Half a centimetre over the line. But there's still, I think, none of our players live in Burnley. They all live over here somewhere. Do you think the whole kind of the wealth in the game has made it harder for fans to feel that they're connected to a club?
I wouldn't say that. When I was at Liverpool, it was a great atmosphere with fans, and being here as well, it's much a family-orientated club. I still feel well connected with the fans, especially little things like if you go out in Cheshire or somewhere, you still get love, and you have to take that time out and show your appreciation. But no, I definitely feel connected with the fans here.
And do you feel that a club like this, that's kind of sort of so successful, has become so successful so quick, you just have to be here and see kind of the infrastructure and everything else. Do you see how football is developing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Is there kind of no limit to this?
Yeah, for sure. You see it. For example, I always say I couldn't imagine myself being a youth team player and, playing for City's youth team, because just looking at the stadium, the facilities and how good it is.
Compared to QPR when you were a kid?
Yeah, at times you come in and probably get comfortable. Or, I'm not saying the kids here do, but just looking at it, it's just like...
Is that a problem?
I wouldn't say it's a problem as long as you've got that worth ethic. But I just looked at it like, this is a bit, you could probably get a bit carried away if you're 15, 16, being at such unbelievable facilities like these.
Here's a question for you. If a computer program could put together a game between England and City, you can play in both teams, by the way, who wins?
If a computer?
If you could imagine a game between England and Man City, who wins?
Who wins?
Yeah.
Do you really want me to answer this?
Yeah, I do. I think it's really... I want to know whether the top clubs now are just way better than any national side. All right, take England. Let's say they're playing France. Could City beat France?
Yeah.
For sure. So it can definitely be England.
Yeah, if we play France, we'd beat them.
Right. And what's the difference? What's the difference? How do you explain the difference in quality?
For one, you're here every day. With the national team, you're there 7 to 8 days. You still got top players, but it's not the same. You don't get the same time. You don't get enough time with the manager. Of course, you get his ideas and you get his plans, but you know, if I was with England every single day, it would kind of be different. And I think the team will play better because you're only there for 10 days, majority of the time.
Yeah.
You train 4 or 5 of those days. You're recovering 2, 3 of them. And so you're not really on the training pitches, as you know here. We're on the training pitch every single day. We're in meetings every single day for a good 10 months. And then pre-season as well. So I think that's a massive thing is the time that we have.
And but in terms of the sort of technical quality of players, the guys that you're playing with every day here, would you say they're like best in the world? Could you go through your team now and say, pick out half a dozen players who are probably the best in the world at what they do?
Yeah. Or top 3, yeah, for sure.
Right.
I'd say 80% of our 80% of our team are top 3 in their positions.
Who's the 25%? And tell me about the manager. What specifically has he done that has made you improve as a player?
I'd say challenge me. Never let me be comfortable here. Always, every year he bought a new winger from his first year. So for me, it's like, okay, cool, I done okay the last season. He just bought another one.
How do you feel when that happens? When you hear say like when Bernardo Silva came in, how did you hear that?
How did I hear it?
Yeah.
On like everybody else?
On the news?
Yeah, like everybody else. Or you probably hear someone said, we might be getting so. But like everybody else, when it's confirmed, that's when I hear it.
He wouldn't take you to one side and say, like, I'm bringing in this guy, but it doesn't mean this, it doesn't mean that.
No, get on with it. It's, that's what we're here for. We're here for competition. Once they come in, you get to know who they are. You understand these are, nice people like yourselves, and it brings the best out for the team. Really, you've got two good wingers challenging for a position. When they play, they're gonna, do their utmost best to uplift the team, and the other winger that gets the chance again has to do the exact same. Otherwise,
If here's a question for you: what motivates you more, loving winning or fear of losing?
I think loving winning.
You love winning?
Yeah, just...
Before a big game, are you lying awake at night worrying about not winning? Or are you just thinking about...
No, I think the more you think about it, it's the worse. The worse it will be the next day, the more you probably be a bit more like, we actually could lose this. I think the more you just don't think about the game until now. I don't really think about the game until we get to the stadium.
And when you play well, does the manager, how does he deal with you when you've played well, and how does he deal with you when you've played badly?
To be honest, we haven't had a lot of conversations this year, like one-on-one. Probably in his first year, he spoke to me a lot more, and then gradually he doesn't really say a lot to me unless it's like in a meeting with the team or something, but not one-on-one as much.
And is that because he's kind of trusting you now just to work it out and do it yourself?
Not work it out, do myself, but I just feel, when he needs to speak to you, he will speak to you, because you'll get a text saying, the gaffer wants to see you. But it's not very often. I don't think this season. Actually, I did. He pulled me after Leicester after missing the penalty. Yeah.
To say?
Just saying, when you came on, I needed you at 100 and you went at 100, and asking why. And I had to give him my explanation. So, yeah.
But you missed the penalty. You missed the penalty.
No, not the penalty, but he just wasn't
generally
happy. He wasn't happy in general. I think at the time he wanted me to come on and change the game and win the game for us, and I didn't do that, so he wasn't happy with it.
Is he pretty demanding?
Oh, yeah, he's demanding, but it's good. It makes you want to do better. Makes you want to prove to him and show him. Well, every time you go on the field, you're kind of playing for your position in this team, because the numbers we have and the quality and numbers we have as well.
And what about who are the leaders on the field?
Our team's not before games. We don't on the pitch. We're not a shouting team. Like, come on, guys. It's really one thing about this team is super relaxed, super chill in the dressing room, so chilled. There's not a lot of shouting, and Vinny, of course, the skipper, Fernandinho. When there's times when before you go out, the team talk, but we're not everyone in the dressing room is shouting, and we're more chilled, and when we get on the pitch, we kind of do the talking.
What was what's been the low point of your career so far?
Probably my first season at City. Purely because came in, excited for my move to come here, and then it went from this kid's gonna be the next to without even before me kicking a ball at City. Like, I was written off and like I wasn't good enough. It was just like I just won the Golden Boy, like literally not in a big heady way. I won the Golden Boy in like a 6, 7, 8 months before that. All of a sudden get a big money move here, and then it's just like switch without even me kicking a ball. And then prior kicking a ball, before I've done anything, it's just he's not good enough, and I was just like, what's going on? So
does that get you when that happens?
At first it did, because I was 19. It's my first time becoming a professional football player, and it's a learning curve. So now you can actually say do what you want, and it's I wouldn't take it in now.
Well, do you read the papers?
If I see it, I read it, but it's not something I got on my way to go.
I'm always amazed when I go to training grounds how they all sit around looking at their marks out of 10 and all that stuff.
Who?
Players?
Nah.
You never do that?
I'm not having that. No one's doing that.
Really?
Looking at your what? Marks out of 10?
I've seen it.
I need names.
Your friends.
After this, we need names.
United.
Nah, I couldn't imagine
Seen
that.
it?
No.
They're all taking the mickey out of, you only got 5, you only got... There's some no-mark journalists.
No, for example, after a game, if you want to check the scores, mine is normally, I like to see like the headline of the game, like Lacazette scored 2 or something like that, and you check up on the game. I don't just want to go see the score, I want to see, what he done. The headline kind of tells you what he does. So like after games I'll do that, but I'd never sit there and like like looking for myself and loving life.
Are you very honest with yourself about how you play?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's times score and I'm fuming because I've played absolutely like, a lot of people score and be happy. There's been times this season I've scored and I've been like, oh my good gosh, what did I do today?
You didn't play well?
Yeah, so I'm very harsh on myself, yeah.
Do you agree you were a bit lucky at Burnley?
To be fair, it's not the easiest place to go in the world, I'd say that.
Do you hate going there?
Not hate going there, but it's sometimes it can be tough in terms of the way they set up. The pitch is as dry as anything you'd ever see. I've never seen anything. You kick a ball and the ball just stops. So it's a difficult game, physical game.
Yeah. And what about? Do you think you'll ever fancy playing abroad?
Oh, 100%. I'd love to. Yeah, 100%. That's always been a dream of mine to play abroad somewhere. Looking at it now, it's like in Manchester. I love it here. But I'm thinking it'd be nice one day to finish training and go home and sit in your garden and eat some dinner. Like
hot.
Yeah, some just warm. Wake up in the morning one day just before you go to training.
So we're talking Scotland, yeah.
Yeah, Scott. I think that should do. But yeah, I've always, So which of the other leagues that you look at and think they're really good leagues? We need to look to see where's 17, 18 degrees consistently throughout.
Spain?
Yeah, hopefully something like that.
What about Germany? Did you talk to your mate in Germany? You don't fancy Germany?
Not really. The language barrier sounds very difficult. Very, very hard. Spanish sounds, hola, Raheem. I feel like I can.
Raheem.
I feel that one I can definitely catch on to.
German.
German sounds very. I hear Leroy and Gundo talking. That sounds.
It's tough. I did.
Sometimes I think they're having me on. I'm like, you're lot not speaking to each other. That's not a language. Sometimes it's so hard and so strong to understand, to hear.
Yeah, but it's just words.
Yeah, but I haven't.
You see, do all of your foreign teammates speak good English?
Yeah, I've got teammates that speak 4, 5, 6 different
Exactly.
languages,
So
and I'm
why
just
can't
like,
we do that? You could do that. You're a bright guy.
but as I said, I think we're English people. I think comfortable. Where the language is comfortable, the country is comfortable. You get paid well, so it's like, why should, not in a rude way, but why should we? Sort of thing. That's why I look at it like.
Are you political?
No,
Not at all.
no. Don't get into that stuff. No.
But don't you think what you did was political when you talked about race?
If you put it in that way, but it's not someone that kind of gets into the politics. I listen and stuff, but I've never been big on that, no.
And tell me, can we go back to your childhood?
Yeah.
Is your dad, you've got no memories of your dad at all, presumably?
Zero. Yeah, zero.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, sometimes it's tough, but I say everything happens for a reason, you know. Now having my own kids, I make sure I give them that figure that.
You've got 2 kids?
3.
3?
Yeah, I got 3 at this moment. Yeah, kind of give them that love from a father figure that I didn't have, and I think that's probably helped me even for the better as well.
Do you think if he hadn't been murdered, that you might never have left Jamaica? Did your mum?
I don't think so. Yeah.
You think you'd have stayed?
Yeah, probably. I think that was the massive issue, and that was like a door to open to say, okay, let's try something new.
What was behind the killing?
Yeah, my mum hasn't really spoke to me about it, to be honest with you. She just told me he was at a party and leaving a party and shots were fired and gone. Yeah.
And then your mum came over first?
Yeah, my mum came over first, yeah.
And then you followed how long later?
Probably like I think my sister came up 3 months after, and I came probably a year and a bit after.
So how old were you when you first arrived?
I think I was about 5, yeah.
What was your first impressions of England?
Cold. I remember having a massive jacket on, and it was like I see the pictures now, and I think, yeah, that looks freezing. My auntie that came with me as well said it was like the worst day of our life, because it was completely a different place. We were used to, 20, 29, 30 degrees, and we've just come, and it was, I think we came in winter time as well, so around Christmas, so the weather was, really, really, really cold. So. Yeah.
But did you feel settled pretty soon, or was it?
Yeah,
tough?
it was. At first, it was tough. School was different. I kind of got away with more in school here, as of when I was in Jamaica. There was zero tolerance.
In Jamaica?
Oh yeah.
Tough discipline.
Oh yeah, mate. Belts. You pick what you want to get. I think they kind of, the government over there kind of brought that down now, but there was times when it was brutal.
Yeah. And when you're playing at Wembley now, so you're playing, whether it's a cup final or you're playing with England, it must be kind of weird when the bus is taking you through, because that's kind of your childhood, isn't it?
Yeah, every time I go now, it's like, it doesn't feel real. Like, I can't remember what game it was. We're going for England, and we're driving with the England team, and I just see one of my friends going into his house, and I've just like called him and said, "Oh, I've just seen you." He's like, "Oh, it's like you guys that just win it." I was like, "Yeah." And it's just every time you go back, it just doesn't feel real.
Have you stayed close to the people you grew up with?
Yeah, my 5 best mates are, 5 of my friends from my form class, all the way from year 7. So.
And what sort of stuff do they do now?
I've got a friend, Shaquille, that he's now acting. I think he's iBoy. He's been in. He's done quite a lot of Nike adverts, like the 2014 World Cup. He was the lead role. Been in Holby City. Got another friend that's trying to be a musician but doing his job as well. And then the other 2 are just normal working guys.
Do you think the friendships that you form with teammates in football, how many of those are kind of real friendships, and how many you just thrown together and you work together and that's it? I guess the guys you play with now, how many of them do you reckon you might still be in touch with, say, in 20 years' time?
To be honest, probably 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it's staying in contact and seeing them every summer or something. It's probably once in a while. How are you doing? Blah blah. If you're probably in the same area, say hello. But no, it's not. You don't really. I don't know. It's hard to get close with your teammates.
Is that because you're a team, but there's also a kind of element of
there's
competition?
no, not competition, but at the same time where we all do the same thing, and I like to be around, as I said, my friends that are just like normal guys. You know, one thing I can't take the ego. Like, if I'm here or we're in whatever country we are and there's another player, I can't do this like ego. I can't stand at that's just like people that are just chilled. Not saying every player is, but you know, everyone has their little diva moment.
Do you have diva moments?
No, not diva, but everyone has
What's the biggest diva
moments.
moment you've ever had at City?
With the media guys, I like to mess around with them. You know, you come out and they say you got to do stuff, and you pretend like you don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. You know, you give them a tough time. You know, they're giving me a tough time to do all these stuff, so then I give them a little tough time. I say, I'm not doing it. No. And then they're kind of like, you know, running up and down. And
What about when you go into these big swanky 5-star hotels when you play in the Champions League and you wouldn't diva it with the reception?
Never. No, that's.
But do you have? There will be some players. What sort of, when you mean diva behaviour of players, what sort of stuff do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just like to go, if I'm going to a restaurant, I just want to go with one of my normal friends and just be normal and chilled. And the more I can get away from that side of you know, someone knowing who the other person is and knowing me and just creating a headache nightmare. That's what I kind of mean. I don't mean kind of being big time, but just get away from that side. But yeah, I would never go to like a hotel. I'm normally a diva to people that I'm like really close to annoy them, sort of like. But they know I'm joking. But do they know I'm joking? That sort of thing.
When did you first know that you were going to be a very, very, very good footballer?
Probably when I was at QPR. Like the treatment I used to get from like coaching staff, always playing like years above. Wherever I went, I was playing, you know, Brent, playing year above. Not year above, years above. So like I think at QPR was maybe 14, playing reserves on the 18s.
Was it your mum that got you to go to QPR rather than a bigger club?
Yeah, my mum, just purely looking out for me as well. And
what was the thinking in that?
Just there's in London at the time, not knowing what my level was, and you know, my mum.
But you could have gone to Arsenal, couldn't you?
Yeah, could have gone to Arsenal a couple of times, and just hasn't happened. But yeah, she was just purely looking out for her son. You know, I think she was thinking more, if I go there and then, you know, they don't like me and then I get disheartened or something along them lines. So I think she was looking out for me to say, okay, go to QPR, and if you're actually that good, they will come back for you.
And how hard was it leaving QPR? So how old were you when you went to Liverpool? 15?
15, yeah. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Because?
Oh, that was sick. Sorry, yeah, that was a big moment for me. Because I remember just going to QPR one day and they just said, oh, you can't play today. I was like, why? You're going to go up to Liverpool. And I just went, oh, okay. I remember like my agent mentioning it and then going into training one day and there was a night game, fuming, because I've just taken a bus for like two hours and a bit, like to go up to play this game and reaching, and they're telling me, no, you can't play, you're going to Liverpool tomorrow. So I remember, no, you're going to Liverpool tomorrow after evening. Okay, yes, I had to go to school the next day. So obviously I've gone to school now and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to Liverpool, so I'm gonna have to leave you, love you and leave you lot. So that was kind of sick.
And what was it like settling in Liverpool?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was my house parents.
What did you have, like old-fashioned family home?
Yeah, old-fashioned, a lovely house. They looked after me, treated me so well. The club, you know, put me in a lovely school. We had like a little car that picked up the group of boys that lived in the area, took us to school every day, to training, back home. It was, honestly, I wouldn't, you know, change that side of it. I loved every minute of it.
And and then coming to City? what was the back to the thing about being the fans? I suppose. I mean, I think sometimes fans expect too much of players in terms of them. You know, are you a badge kisser?
No.
You don't kiss badges.
No.
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 What do you think of badge kissing?
To be honest with you, if I scored a goal and at that moment I felt like to kiss the badge, I would, because as a team I'm at, and that's what I'm, at that moment in time I'm giving everything for you. Of course I will kiss a badge, but there's, you know, it's like anything. Everyone's got ambitions. This club has ambitions. I remember my agent and I had a conversation when we were, I can't remember exactly how old we was, and he just told me, like, this is a brutal sport at times. You know, when you were 14, the coach didn't have to give you a contract when you were 16. What about the other kids that didn't get their contract? How do you think they feel? So it's like, if you have the opportunity and you feel it's right for you to leave a club and that's your dream, do it, because if it's the other way around, the club would do the exact same thing to you, and without thinking twice, they're doing it for their best interest, sort of thing. So, you know, there's points in your career, if you really want to do something, you feel that's what you got to do.
And do you think as well that you've also got to be, I mean, it's amazing you're still only 24, that would part of your thinking be that to keep improving, you've got to be setting yourself new goals and new horizons?
Yeah, for sure. Every season it's trying to do something, you know, better than the last, and, you know, we didn't make it to the Champions League final, but that's something at this club we really want to do. So yeah, every year there's always got to be goals, and, you know, from a young age I set out what I wanted to do. You know, I've gone to Liverpool, said if I haven't won a Premier League by the time I'm 21, I need to look at my options and see what I'm doing there. And then I've kind of put that into place from a young age and come to City now and won my first Premier League. And it's just good to know what we've set out as a team to do is, you know, go in as planned.
And have you seem to be sort of developing a broader profile now and doing other things. Is the part of you that's starting to think about kind of expanding and business and what you do after you stop playing?
Yeah.
Do you think about that?
Yeah, like at this moment in time, I'm like loving my properties and loving my, you know, that side of it. There's a couple of the boys here. I remember saying, how can there be so many millionaires in a team and you never actually hear like I was saying it to Vinny actually, because he's like as I said to you, someone I look up to. How can there be like so many football players and you don't really hear none of them ever being like billionaires or putting their money together and doing some stuff and whatnot? You don't really hear about it.
Do you think not having known your dad has made you a different sort of parent?
Yeah, I think so.
And the other thing is, are you conscious of the fact now that you're bringing up your kids and, you know, once you get to a certain level of fame, your kids become fair game in the eyes of the media as well? Do you worry about that?
Yeah, it is, especially for my daughter. Not, you know, living with her and, you know, having that eye on her, my eye on her every day. That's, you know, kind of scary. I remember leaving Liverpool and there was, you know, threats to her and stuff like that. So, yeah, more so her.
What do you make of the impact that social media is having on your world, football, and also just the world more generally?
Yeah, the way the world's going now, a lot of things are, you know, done on socials, and it's good to be able to have that.
You think it's good?
Yeah, it's good to be able to have that other platform if you use it in the right way.
But sure. What about all the, you know, how much abuse do you get on social media?
Oh, I ain't got time to.
You don't check it. Have you ever checked it?
As I said to you, when I was leaving, when I left Liverpool and came here, for sure, yeah, I was looking at every detail, looking at, kind of taking it in, and like why me, kind of feeling sorry for myself. But no, you get on with it. I still see some now. You just laugh, just get on with it, really. Yeah.
But how does a club? I mean, you've got different personalities in the dressing room. Some people, it will get to them, like it used to get to you. So, I mean, what do you think it says about what's kind of happening in the world, that people feel they can just abuse people like you or me or anybody else, and it's kind of out there instantly now?
Yeah, does
it worry you more generally?
Yeah, it's cruel, and, you know, I think there's an issue with people saying that, social medias need to be able to protect their, users more, and people that are getting abused, they need to do more. But for sure, that is something that needs to happen, because there's a lot of young kids on it as well, and a lot of young kids that see certain stuff that they probably shouldn't be. But in my field, and the people that I know, different supporters and fans, I know sometimes I'm gonna get stick, as long as it's not malicious, intent to try and really degrade me, or try to kind of put the knife in, really. I'm fine with the normal, regular jokes, and but when it gets malicious and kind of trying to do something really horrible and dirty.
Do you feel when you're going out and about, do you feel totally comfortable just going out and about on your own?
Yeah, I feel super comfortable. Yeah, and that's the one thing as well. It's like you always get online keyboard warriors, as I'd call them, and then in person it'd be. And then there's some people I see, and I'm like, I know you're one of them guys that's behind the screen, but now you're like seeing me, and you're like, oh, lovely, I'm a United fan, and da. Sometimes, sometimes like, I know you're one of them, but you're here now, and it's all love. So it's kind of like, they're a little enjoyment online. They kind of get a thrill out of it.
How important is your faith?
Oh, massive to me. Always give thanks for my life, always give thanks for my family's life, and just really grateful for the position that I've been put in.
Were you raised as a Christian?
Yeah, my mum has always, taught us and brought us up in the church, and I think it was when he got back to Liverpool again, when I was at Liverpool, and seeing her kind of like transition again, and praying in the house, and telling us and just expressing, kind of opened my eyes even more to have faith.
Would you? I remember Harry Redknapp once telling me that he had a divide in, I think it was at Portsmouth. He had an atheist, non-believing group, but he had a group of Christians.
Where?
At Portsmouth. And actually sometimes he said half of them would disappear for a prayer meeting. Is this a God-fearing club? Have you got a religious dressing room?
A village? No, but I think we have a lot of some Muslims. Yeah, I think there's some, and then there's some people that question if there's a God, but I'll say couple, yeah.
But you've got no doubt?
I've got no doubt. No, I ain't got no doubt. Not one. I know for sure it's just, every day you wake up, you just look around, and you don't need to look any further than what you see. It's a lot of scientists tell you, I don't want to get into it, but a lot of scientists and the cleverest people in the world tell you that there has to be a creator of something, and they need answers, but it's just, you just have to sometimes put it that it's bigger than you, and you have to leave it as that. And
that's what God means to you. It's just kind of,
yeah, you're bigger.
Created the world.
Yeah, you're bigger than there. It's just there's for me, there's just, every day I look up, I'm just like, okay, I don't want to get into it, but look at it. You wake up, you see the trees give you your oxygen. They say if the sun was a little bit 1 inch more, you'd freeze to death. Everything's done to perfection. Your body is like a temple. So it's just, for me, everything I see on this planet is like, you don't need another explanation. Is when I think people start saying you're heaven and earth, you're heaven and you're hell, and I think that's when people start saying, okay, you're creating this like movie, and this not natural thing. Heaven's right here on earth, like we're right here living in paradise. So this is paradise. There's a lot of problems in paradise. Yeah, for sure. But I don't want to get into it. As I keep saying. But the Lord tells you, like, this is not His world. This is, yeah,
our world. that he created for us.
Yeah, we have our own free will here. Everyone has their free will. Everyone has their choice. He's given everyone on this planet their choice. Everyone, you don't need religion. You don't need to be this, that. Everyone, your parents grow you up to understand right from wrong. Every moment in your life, you do something, you know if it's right or if it's wrong. You don't need a book to tell you this. You don't need this religion to tell you this. So, for sure, there's a creator.
But if your body's your temple, why do you cover it with all these pictures?
Yeah, for sure. No, as I said to you, everyone has their choices. Everyone makes good choices. Everyone makes bad choices. And my mum despised some of these. She doesn't agree with some of these. These are some of I done when I think majority of my tattoos I finished before I was like 19.
Before you were 19?
Majority of them, yeah. The last couple I've gotten a year or so, but majority of my upper body work have been when I was younger. And it's something that she's not happy with. It's something like even tasting alcohol, she's not happy that I remember I think it was 6 months she didn't speak to me for.
When you drank?
Yeah, but I got bullied into drinking. I won't say the player's name, but I don't think I would have drank if it wasn't for that player. But yeah, she didn't speak to me for 6 months.
Because you drank?
No one in my family drinks apart from my uncle. Like in my close immediate family in England.
You don't drink at all?
I drink now. I haven't not like regularly.
But so why didn't you speak to you? Was that because you were too young?
No, just she said, how can you grow up in a house where you don't see people drinking and now you want to pick up drinking? So she was like kind of disappointed. She's like, if you haven't seen your mum drink, you haven't seen your sisters drink, my sister's older than me, how can you pick up this habit of drinking now? Where are you getting this habit from? So as I said to you, we're in a world where you see things and you kind of pick up what you see, and I've made my decisions. Even these are probably wrong, because as I said, yeah, our body is a temple.
How many City players don't have tattoos? It's become a massive thing in football, isn't it?
I think quite a few don't.
Yeah?
Yeah, like Gundo doesn't have one, Vinny doesn't have any, quite a few.
Okay.
Quite a few.
I said to Sean Dyche, if I was a manager, my problem would be is that I wouldn't allow tattoos in the dressing room. And he said, you haven't got a team then.
If I could go back and start and I didn't get my first one, I wouldn't have any. It's like it's like another thing. Once you start, you can't stop.
Right.
If you get one, you get another one.
Have you stopped now?
Nah. Nah. Even though I know it's wrong, it's just addictive now. It's just addictive. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.